Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from lovetocreate.typepad.com. Today I want to talk to you about the card and the gift tag that I have made. This is for the North Carolina demo blog hop, for November. I want to give credit to Lori Meyer. She's a part of our group, and she illustrated how to make this slider card, kind of copying her idea with just some different supplies. I want to give her credit. She did a video for us, but since I think some others might be looking at this later, I am going to do another one. This is, except for the slider part, this is a super easy card to make. This is one of the Slimline cards, and so the measurements are a little bit different. So I'm going to pull the slider out and just talk to you for a few minutes about this card. As you can see, I have it so that it doesn't quite meet there. And this is to give room for the slider itself. And so this card measures, and I'll have this on my blog post, it measures 8 by 8.5, and it is scored at 2 and at 6, or 2 from each end. Now I am going to tell you that when I folded this up, it overlapped a little bit, as you can see here. And so what I did was I took it to my cutter and I cut just a couple slithers from each side until I had just a little bit of an opening like that. And that's just to give room for the slider of the card. Now, this is the Toile Tidings. I had to think for a minute. Paper that was brought back from last year's holiday catalog, and it's in here again, and I just love this paper. Anything you do with this paper is going to look pretty. So the paper in the pack is garden green on one side, and then it's the same design with the real red. I'm just going to glue these on real quick, and then we'll get to the slider part. And like I say, I will have the measurements on my blog post, and that will be attached to this. So I'm just going to, well, hopefully not have a mess. I'm going through this phase where I like to have stuff just almost out to the edge. So this is just cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than the flap itself. And of course I've gotten glue on there. Let me get that might make it even worse. And then let me do this side, other side. The glue does allow me to have a little bit of wiggle worm, or wiggle space, not wiggle worm, on the card. Okay, so there's all we need to do for the card. What you really need to see is how to do the slider part. So let me show you that this is actually done kind of in an X form. And you can make your slider any size that you wanted to. This one is 3.5 square. So let me bring in some parts for that. And what I'm using is Very Vanilla. I've got one piece of Very Vanilla, and I have already embossed that with the tin tile embossing folder. And let me point out that I tried to get this centered in here. So you can see these little larger flowers are 4 in each corner, and I have these little things interspersed just so that it is even. Now people may not notice that at all, but I don't know, for me it's important. Then you're going to have 2 pieces of just typing paper. or thin paper at the 3.5 square, and another piece of the was very vanilla, I'm sorry, and it is scored halfway across. And I am just going to go ahead and fold that, use my bone folder, and I'm going to take each of these and fold them in half. Now I could have folded them together and then taken them apart, but I didn't want to confuse you. And here is how you're going to put this together. Now you might want to use tear and tape, and somehow or another I got out of my room without it, so I'm going to use glue. Tear and tape really might be the better choice. And I'm going to put my glue all over one side. And this is going to go right here on this fold. The folded end is going to go to the inside, and then it's going to go right on that fold there. Okay, then I'm going to bring this other side. I'm going to put glue all over one side. I'm going to put it so this fold meets up with this fold, again at the center. I'll put that down. And then this piece will go right on top. So, and there's no right or wrong side, I don't think, to that. You just look at the one you like the best, turn it over, and put the glue on the other side. There's just something about this folder and vanilla paper. Okay, so that will push down good. Like I said, you might want to use tear and tape. That would be a little bit stronger. And you can see you've got your X formed here. So pretty easy. Okay, and if you have any of the paper, the white paper, the typing paper showing out to the edge, all you have to do is simply take your scissors and just kind of trim it a little bit so that it doesn't show, and that works great. Okay, now we are using the Wreath Builder dies for this card, and I'm going to be using this die right here, and I am going to cut that. In fact, I've already done it. I've done one in Garden Green, and this one is from paper from the Forever Greenery Sweet, and it might be Forever Greenery is the name of that, but right this minute I can't recall. But and what I'm going to do is glue this one down first, and I'm just going to kind of put my glue on there lightly, I hope. And I just like to go down through that center piece with the glue. I don't really like to glue all the leaves down. This would be one of those things that you could use the adhesive sheets with, and it would all glue down like a sticker. But like I said, that wasn't really what I was hoping to achieve. Let me turn that right side up. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the Garden Green piece. And I apologize, I am getting glue on my hand, so I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll continue. And when you put this piece on, you want to off-center it from the other one, so you don't have all of the same leaves just covered up with another piece. Okay, so now we've got our wreath on there. Now, I did take the time to use some of the I'm sorry, I just did another video and somehow or another a lot of my stuff is with that, I think. I did take and use some of these small dimensionals and just put them underneath some of these leaves. Like that, so that they would stand up. Some of them are kind of doing that anyway, and I'm not going to take the time on this video to do that. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is make our flower that goes on this, and I'm just kind of letting my stuff dry for the slider with this. And I'm going to be cutting a flower. I'm going to cut 2 out of Very Vanilla. And for the center of this, they have some circles on here, but it doesn't work exactly for what I wanted it to do. So we're not going to tell anybody. I'm using this retired punch, and I just punched out a piece of So Saffron for that. So I'm going to put my flowers together. I'm going to use a glue dot and add this in between the 2 flowers. And I'm also going to bring in another contraband and just add a little bit of glue around those dots. And I want to off-center this and try to cover up those edges. Now I could use my bone folder and curl that up a little bit. I think I'm just going to bend it a little, and that'll work fine. I'm going to add a couple of glue dots. There's what I was looking for a minute ago. To the center of my flower on the back, and I'm going to add that. Need to pay attention to my slider and which way it's going. Right down in here. And then I've already made a bow using this ribbon. This is from the Forever Greenery combo pack, and I'm going to add that with a glue dot. Right up here. And okay, I was thinking these were not my sharpest scissors, but they seem to be doing okay. All right, I'm going to add some of the red rhinestones to my wreath. And I think I've got 7 here that I wanted to add. You, of course, could do whatever you wanted. Okay, isn't that pretty? And it's just pretty. It's pretty easy as well as pretty. All right, I've got a piece of Very Vanilla scrap, and I want to be using Real Red. I'm going to stamp the saying, "Lots of love at Christmas." That's from the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set that's in the annual catalog. And so let me do that. All right, and then I'm going to trim this. Okay, I'm sorry, I had a little scare there that this wasn't taping for a minute. Okay, and I'm just trimming around this. Okay, let me close this up. And then for the ends, I'm just going to go in from the center and then go up and meet that. And I'll do the same on the other end. All right, and then I'm just going to take my bone folder and kind of curl that way, and then I'm going to take this side and curl it this way. And then we'll add that with glue dots. So let me find them. I'll put one glue dot there and another glue dot over here. And we'll just add that across the wreath. And that's all there is to that. Now I'm going to put a little glue dot underneath this leaf because I don't want that saying to come up. And maybe I'll put another one over here. Okay, so now all we need to do is add it to our card. I'm not going to do an inside for you, but let me do tell you that some of your inside might show through. You might want to do your writing behind where the slider will be, and that's just going to go up in here and up in here, and it will slide and hold your card that way. Okay, so let's talk about the tag that I have here. I have a 2 by, I think it was 5.5 piece, yes, of very vanilla. Again, I tried to put this in the 10 tile folder so that it would be even. So I looked at these little pieces, I think you can see better, these little pieces, and tried to get those straight and tried to get this in the center. So I'm going to take this tag topper punch and just stick this in and punch the top of that. Then we'll take some of this ribbon. This ribbon is beautiful. It's just so pliable and easy. It's just not stiff at all. It's just great ribbon, and it comes with the gold twine, so that's pretty neat. So all I did was pull that through and trim my ends on that. And then I took again some of the actually, let me pull some out. Hold on a minute. Some of the wreath cuttings for this, and I glued on. Okay, I laid this on and tried to figure out where I could put that on, and I cut here and here. And then I just put a little bit of glue on this and glued this down. And I think I am working on some of the leaves on this instead of going around the center. But it doesn't matter, you can do it the way you want. And so I'm going to put this down. I want this to go to the side, and I want that to go all the way to the side. Now, if it had gone over, I would just turn it over and clip it. I don't think I'm going to clip that, though. I think I'm going to leave it. This might have a little bit that could be clipped. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this leaf. Now, I don't want it to be on top of the one. I want it to be kind of offset a little bit. So I think I'm going to do here and here. And we will glue that down. I'm just trying not to get it all over me. This is a newer glue and it wants to come out heavier. Okay. So I do want that to go to the ends. Well, let me try that again. And you could still, I see I've got one sticking up a little here. I could have put a little dimensional behind there. Okay, and I'm just going to glue or cut that. I might just leave this one right here. Okay, we're going to make a flower the exact same way. I've already cut them out. And put a glue dot here. Okay, let me put another glue dot there. That one kind of came apart. And then I'll do a little bit of the glue here. Offset that just again, a little again. And then we'll glue dot that to the tag. I want to call it a bookmark, but you know, it could also be a bookmark. We're going to put that up here, and I'm just going to bend it up just a little. We'll put in our, sorry about that, our rhinestones, a couple of those. Okay, and then for the words on this one, we're going to use the very same stamp set, the very same words. And we're going to cut these out again. But this time I'm not worried about leaving the ends. Because we're going to cut these words apart. Okay, and to attach those, I just use the glue dots. So lots of love. At and Christmas. And that glue dot stuck out a little. I'm just going to bend it back on itself. And we'll do that. So there's our tag. So once again, we have our Christmas tag and the slider card, Slimline slider card. And I hope you enjoyed making those. If you need supplies, please go to lovetocreate.typepad.com and you'll find a link to my online store. Also in this video, there is a link. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.